Perfect. All right. So yeah, let's start. Well, hello everybody. Well, thank you very much for joining. We have this Catermind session on Tuesday. We're planning to have the rest of them on Thursdays because I think Thursdays are generally speaking better days for webinars. But thank you for joining on a Tuesday, which is a crazy busy day for folks in catering. But today is the 11th session of Catermind, actually. This is our 11th webinar, but the first session of our new Catermind series that I'm co-hosting with Kelly. I'm super excited for it because we are covering some topics that a lot of folks are not covering, and we're super excited for it, including AI automations and many more. But as a little reminder, Catermind is a catering mastermind. And what we are trying to do here is basically share knowledge, support each other, and build a community of catering folks who really want to grow every single day with us. So this Catermind series is powered by Omnicart and Crumbs. Let's talk about what we are going to talk about during these webinars or workshops. So one of the main things that we're going to do is that we're going to share a lot of ready-to-use plans, including like campaign templates, email sequences, email scripts, and targeting strategies that you can implement basically as soon as possible, and you can incorporate that into your sales processes. We're going to talk about a lot of the basically tricks and proven techniques that can have a major impact on your catering sales, and it can grow it. And obviously, AI and automations is my favorite thing. I know as you know, I know Kelly is super passionate about it too. So these are some of the things that we're gonna talk about. So as I mentioned, I am super honored to co-host this webinar with Kelly. Kelly doesn't need an introduction. Everyone knows her in the industry, but Kelly, if you want to share a few words, that would be great.
Yeah. I feel like this is really good because I'm wearing, I guess it's almost Omnicart green. I call it Kelly green. But hi everyone, I am Kelly Gergen. I'm the founder of Crumbs, and we're an agency dedicated to incremental revenue for restaurants. So super excited to be here. And as Arya mentioned, the AI side of things is enabling so many of us to work smarter. And I think the more that we can kind of bring our ideas together, the smarter we can all work together. So super excited to be here today.
Fantastic. Cool. So here I included my Calendly as well as Kelly's Calendly. So I'm going to share the slides after this webinar. You can basically go to this page, scroll down, and if you want to jump on a call with Kelly or myself, if you have any questions, we would be more than happy to help and continue the conversation beyond this webinar. So for today, we have three items in our agenda that we want to discuss. First of all, we're going to talk about data and CRM foundation. Then we're going to talk about sales and marketing strategies. We are going to identify some of the key opportunities in August, September, and Kelly will share ready-to-use email sequences to deploy immediately and get results, and automation and AI. So we have some really nice prompts that you can basically copy and paste into your chat GPT or any other AI tool that you use and get a lot of results out of it immediately. Also, we're going to share a little bit about our businesses, not to sell, but just to share, like, with the folks in our industry, that what we do, what kind of services that we offer, because I do think that the combination of Omnicart and Crumbs is the most efficient and most economical, honestly, option for people to grow their business. But again, we have a lot of tips here and a lot of techniques that we're going to share that you can deploy immediately. So without further ado, let's dive into it. We're going to first talk about CRM, as I mentioned. But as most of us know, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. And the CRM tools, they're just not a simple tool that they're a backbone of our catering sales strategy. And if you take a look at any other B2B industry, as we know that catering is a B2B basically business, most B2B businesses like tech companies, like accounting firms, like law firms, they all use a CRM to manage their customer relationship management. But for some reason, I don't know why in the restaurant industry, especially in the catering sector, is not as it's not used as much. And one of the things, one of the messages that we want to share during these webinars is the importance of using CRMs. So why do we need to use CRMs? So there are three main pillars of the benefits that a good CRM can provide. One is that a CRM is your centralized client hub. You can keep all of your customer information there, all of their preferences, their past order, all the communication with them. They all live in that platform that you can basically use later on to personalize your messages and be more efficient. The second benefit that a CRM provides is that it really streamlines the sales pipeline. You can efficiently track your leads, you can manage your proposals, you can automate follow-ups and other processes, and it gives you the capability to send bulk outreaches. And last but not least is that a good CRM can give you a capability to really personalize your marketing, personalize the emails and messages that you send over to your customers, so they can feel that you care about them, you know about them, and that's the very powerful way of increasing the conversion when it comes to CRMs. Kelly, do you have any thoughts that you want to share about CRM?
Yeah. I think the interesting thing is that so many of us, and Arya, you nailed it, right? Like we're behind the times when it comes to CRM systems in the restaurant space. And especially coming from being in sales myself, it was always, how do I pull that manual report of maybe guests that ordered this time last year and send out an email as quickly as possible to them so that I don't have to spend time and I'm, don't frown, but BCCing 500 people in one email just to get it out and see what I would get from it. And I think just like we found in the sales process for catering, it's all about personalization. And you're seeing that with the rest of the industry right now of how can they provide the right offers at the right time to the right guest. And that is sort of taking that strategy and applying it over to the catering side of things, of being in front of them at the right time, having that personalized touch, but doing so in a way where us as salespeople and as marketers, it is something where we're working efficiently through it. The days of sending those individual emails and really trying to manage spreadsheet over spreadsheet, it doesn't happen anymore. And I'd say the last thing is so many of us have been told that we have a CRM because that's where we're getting our orders from, or that's where somebody is placing their order. But it's not necessarily the case when you look at building out an entire CRM strategy for your catering customers. Just because that's where you're seeing your orders kept doesn't mean that it's taking care of all of these other initiatives and you're really maximizing your data.
100%, exactly. And as you mentioned, if you're spending 5 minutes to send one email, why not spend that 5 minutes to send 500 personalized emails?
Yeah.
The same amount of time spent, but the outcome is 500 times more impactful. But as I mentioned, a CRM is a backbone, and for it to work properly, we need to make sure that the data that we are using in our CRM is also very clean. One of the biggest problems that I've seen in the restaurant industry is the dirty data. And as we all know, if dirty, we have, we basically have dirty the data as an input to our CRM. What's going to happen is, we're going to have dirty data out, and we're going to have bad outreaches. That's not what we need. So the second most important thing after CRM is to make sure that our data is clean. And the reason for it is that improves our response rate by 35%. It reduces waste time pursuing dead-end leads. It enables precision targeting based on past behavior, which is the most important thing, as you mentioned, Kelly. And it creates the opportunity for us to personalize all the outreaches that's happening through the CRM. So one of the couple of things that we need to do, and I would love to get your take on it as well, Kelly, to clean up our data is these are top three in my opinion, but there are many, many more things. It's just an endless world if we want to clean up your data. But the most important thing for us is to segment our industry. It's very important to know which company is in the healthcare industry, which company is in the education industry, and so on and so forth. So one of the main things that I recommend to our clients is to definitely go through their list and make sure that they tag every single one of their clients with the right SIC. The second most important thing is to track past activity. So to have all the information regarding their orders, their preferences, order frequency is super important. Flag them as seasonal clients versus year-round customers. These are important information that if you spend the time to enrich your information, your CRM, you're going to benefit tremendously from it. And last but not least is update the contact and company information. So who are the decision makers? Who are the people that are placing orders from that company? And obviously remove duplicate entries and update job titles. These are the top three on my list. What are the items on your list, Kelly?
Yeah. I mean, I think you are, as you mentioned, you're only as powerful as the data that you have sitting in front of you. And so that garbage in, garbage out, is so difficult to manage, especially when scaling these catering systems, right? For many of you, and I can see a couple of you on the call here, you're managing sales teams. And with that, that some people may think of one contact as, well, I think that's a corporate contact. Another person may tag it as a law office. Another person may tag it as a holiday order. And suddenly you go to try and conduct outreach to these reports and lists that you're painfully trying to pull and get together, and it's inaccurate. And then suddenly you're missing some of those orders. And so having a system that's going to kind of, keep that organized for you, not only is it a massive time savings just for you guys alone, it is a huge savings and effectiveness in actually reaching out to those guests. I think some of the other things that I always like to look at when you're tagging those guests, you think about all the different industries that cater. And so whether it is, education, but maybe it's, it's a fundraiser, or it was a local store marketing pop-up, or, weddings are so massive. And, being able to organize that data in a way where it's efficiently being able to be pulled by reports. And you as salespeople can say, hey, my wedding business is up this year, or maybe my corporate business is down. Those type of metrics we know resonate with marketing teams. That's where you get additional budget. That's where you can fix a problem before suddenly the quarter is over and you missed your mark for the month, for the quarter.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a really good point. And as a pro tip that I included here is if you want to if you really want to have a clean data in your CRM to benefit from the advantages that Kelly just shared, I would like spend 15 minutes a day to just clean up the data every single day, 15 minutes. That doesn't it's not a long time, but the compound impact of it can be huge. But obviously, there are many other ways to clean up the data. This is just one of the ways to do it.
I think the other thing is just, when you think about the data side of things, from a sales perspective, we are sitting on so much business that's already living inside of our database, and we may be overlooking that. And so by having that clean and accurate and up-to-date data, that allows you to really maximize your data and not have to look outside. You should be looking outside your four walls for business, but you have no idea how many leads and how much opportunity and how some of those last minute orders orders may just be sitting inside of your database, but if, maybe they haven't heard from you in a month or two, they fall off the wayside, right? They order from somebody else, they go to EasyCater, they do, something else along those lines. But by having everything fully accurate and up to speed, it's going to allow you to kind of squeeze that database for more and more and more orders and keep it truly healthy and active.
100%. So one of the things actually that I've seen, and it's pretty common, is that I've seen brands that they have thousands of customers in the for catering. And when you take a look at the data, like 80 to 90% of those customers are completely lapsed or churned. But those brands are paying like, thousands of dollars to find new customers through like calling and so on and so forth. But if you invest your time and energy and look into the previous customers that you've had, there is so much opportunity. There is a lot of, there's a lot of orders in there that, but with a simple outreach, identifying who is lapsed, who is churn, and reaching out to them and giving them some offers like a small food drop or a coupon code, you can basically, bring those customers back and generate a lot of orders. So that's about the data cleanup. I wanted to share an example of a good data structure for a catering basically business. This is an example, and like, as you can see here, the orderer here, the customer is the Columbia University. Okay, so now here you can see that the origin of this customer is first party catering. You can see the market. The market is NYC, so we know that customer is in NYC. We have the address. We have the SIC category, education and training. We have the order frequency weekly. We have all the people who placed a catering order from Columbia University here. And we have all the activities from emails, from previous orders, and so on and so forth on the right side. So this, in my opinion, is an example of clean data, a clean profile of your customer. And this is a good foundation on top of which you can basically set up a lot of automation and AI to be able to 10x and 20x your productivity.
I like this too, because this is the type of clean data that you can, again, just going back to pulling reports. Like when I want to know my VIP customers of who's spending the most, whether that's ordering online, ordering direct from me, or ordering from EasyCater, right? Having it, or any of the platforms, honestly, having it all in one spot allows me to pull my report and say, okay, these are the 10 customers that I'm sending a $25 gift card to this month. Or these are the 10 customers that I'm going to get in my car when it's 100 degrees out and stop in with a bag of cookies or some treats for them. But without having this all in sort of one centralized location, you find yourself having to pull reports to then pull a secondary report, and it's nice how this pulls it all into one spot.
100%. And actually, the reporting functionality or filtering functionality that you were referring to, I have it right here. That's another benefit of having a good CRM because, let's just go through this scenario. Like, imagine you want to send a targeted outreach to all of your corporate customers in Texas within the healthcare SIC category who have previously placed an order through your first party online ordering system. Okay, so for a brand that doesn't have a CRM, to be able to achieve to be able to find a list of the SIC healthcare SIC in Texas for corporate takes a long time to be able to put together that list. But if you have a CRM that gives you that functionality for reporting and filtering, you can easily go there, click, 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 choose corporate, choose healthcare and medical services, choose your market, choose your origin, and then it gives you a nice list of your basically customers, the targeted, the narrowed down list of your customers, and you can easily send them personalized messages. And I believe was related to the point that you were sharing, Kelly, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's I mean, look at those categories are just so powerful. I mean, I know in the days of not having a CRM and some not having it today, right? It's like you pull, the past order report for maybe that month and say, okay, I'm going to look at email domains and hope for the best and hope I recognize somebody's name in there without totally knowing. And so I just feel like a send like this just becomes that much more effective.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Perfect. One of our attendees asked the question, and the question was, "What CRM you're showing? Are you showing?" Well, the CRM, the examples that I was showing, that was the CRM that we offer at OmniCard. And what we do is we basically are a AI-powered CRM for the catering industry. One of the main things that we do is we implemented this AI algorithm that goes through all of your previous orders and creates profiles like this for you within a couple of hours without you spending any time on cleaning your data, and also gives you all the functionalities for automation, for basically building sequences and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to share that with everyone, so you guys know exactly what we do. Let's see if we have any more question here. I know someone raised their hand, but I'm not really sure how to give them access to ask the question. So if you can type your question in the Q&A, basically chat, that would be great. I think it was Steven. But anyways, we'll move on to the next slide. So again, I wanted to share a testimonial here. Goes back to the data and CRM. One of our customers, Dig, they're saying the way that we are helping them is how we seamlessly clean up their data with AI, and we layered powerful automation on top. So their previous CRM was HubSpot, which is a known CRM, but it's not built for the restaurant industry. And they needed to hire a dedicated manager or outside help just to maintain the automations on top of dealing with messy data. So again, super important to have that clean data and automation. So I just wanted to share that piece of information with you guys as well. And now that we talked about CRM and we talked about clean data, if we have both of those components, the next step for us would be to basically identify the opportunities and build our email sequences to be able to reach out to those customers. And Kelly's going to walk us through the opportunities, the key opportunities in August and September, and she'll show us how to build these sequences.
Awesome. Thanks, Arya.
Of course.
Um, I think when we're looking at those key opportunities that are in August and September, everybody immediately is like, let's talk about back to school. And I think with so many people that I've spoken with on this, there is an importance of, educating outside of just catering when it comes to school groups and schools in general. So it's not about, sort of relying on, the email that goes out from your marketing team that maybe ends up in somebody's promotions folder that's colorful and bright and beautiful. You need to be relying on these opportunities to be able to speak to them and educate them around what does back to school catering actually mean, and how can you be a back to school partner for them as a restaurant in the community. So whether that's a teacher appreciation program, it's offering to sponsor their morning announcements is one of my favorite ones. Back to school kickoff, tapping into that. There's so many ways to talk about catering for back to school without actually saying the word catering, and you'd be surprised what can come from it. Obviously, corporate offices, right now it is a hot button of return to office. There are a lot of legislations going into place between now and the end of the year, particularly in some of those bigger cities. So tapping into, hey, what are you doing to get your employees back? How are you celebrating them? How are you keeping the energy up? Those are the types of questions that you want to be looking for. And something that I think you'll see in some of these templates, as well as something that, we always like to talk about on the Crumb side of things. It's not always about using the word catering. It's how can I help grow your business? How can I partner together with you? What can I do to support you heading into Q4, the busiest time of the year? And so leveraging that, you'll see a ton of success in the corporate office space as well. Again, football season and tailgates, and we know that that is creeping up on us. We're in some preseason right now. But whether it is, high school, college, it is pro football, it is any of those uh, little tykes groups that are running through it, there's tons of opportunities. And the best way to do that is to frame your catering menu in a way that sounds like it's a tailgate package. So rather than relying on your customers to kind of go out and say, okay, I'm going to order a thing of wings, I'm going to order a thing of chicken tenders and a thing of macaroni and cheese, why not package all three of those together? Don't change the portion size and call that your tailgate package. And super easy way to just see some of those scalable packages. And those are great packages to be adding on Easy Cater as well, especially if they're not on your main menu. And then obviously holidays are here. I'm sure everybody is already booking those holiday parties, and you're probably wanting to get ahead of your holiday parties that have booked in the past with you. We have all had that holiday party that they only book once every other year, right? That massive holiday party that makes or breaks your numbers. How are you getting on top of that and getting in front of them to say, what can I do to make sure that you're booking your holiday party with us this year? So I think holiday parties for me is the most important one on this list of not only new business, but past business as well. Because you already know what your numbers are for last year in terms of holiday parties, and how are you going to set it up to be bigger and better than before? And so, in just looking at all those campaigns that we just talked about, again, you may be sitting on your marketing team, or you may be going to your marketing team, asking them to be sending out communications of, hey, can we make sure that we're promoting this type of catering? I don't know about everybody on the call, but I know for me, I have my mail app on my phone with my promotions tab that probably has 35,000 emails sitting inside of it. It'll get a brief scan for me, but I'm not opening it. I'm not tapping into it until I need it. And you really need to think about that when your marketing team is sending out a communication on your behalf. It's only going to a set group of, guests that are going to be opening it. There's going to be a whole group that's not opening it, and you get that immediate sort of bump in business and then it falls off. And so, how are you leveraging your database and your existing contacts and outreach to keep that consistent lead flow happening throughout the month? So when we're looking at a back to school campaign, right? We're there, depending on where you're located. I think I see some people from the South on here. If you're in Florida, Atlanta, Texas, man, you are back to school and it is hot. So you want to get in front of those schools, right? Now is a great time to, maybe it's not the back to school night, but what are you doing for homecoming? What are you doing to support the teachers to get through this quarter? And most importantly, obviously, your sports teams. How are you getting in and supporting them? So get those campaigns. You want to start them now, right? You want to get that out in front of them. And you are targeting anybody and everybody when it comes to the school side of things. And the reason for this is you are going to craft your message so that it resonates with all of them, but has very specific call outs that are going to help you be effective with it. And so again, going back to the offerings that we were talking about, you'll see in the list here, right? We're not necessarily talking about catering. We are talking about how can we show the teachers appreciation? How can we, help them with anything they need inside of the classroom? And how can we be a supporter of them in the community? And so when you're building your sequence, right, and when we're looking at those automation tools that hopefully some of you may have, some of you may be saying, gosh, I need this. We know that catering takes a couple touches. And so you want to have not just that one email, but that follow-up email and then that follow-up email. You want to be actively trying to get their business with it. And so when you're looking at just sort of that first email, we're trying to gauge interest, especially if this is going to be a new contact, especially if maybe your contact retired, they're no longer there. How are we gauging interest with them to say, hey, what can I do to support your upcoming school year? And as I mentioned earlier, this can I sponsor your morning announcements has been doing exceptionally well. And that can be as simple as sending along coffee, having a student recognition program, or just offering to drop off a gift card that they can give away in some capacity. Doesn't have to be a big free sponsored lunch on that. The next one is really the education. Like, hey, I already tried to pique your interest. You didn't reply to me just yet. So I wanted to make sure I told you why we're a great partner and how we can help in the community, right? Here there are different offerings when it comes to partnering with schools. And then lastly, it's like, hey, listen, I just really want to make sure you know I'm here to help you. And it could be something where you say, hey, if you haven't had our brand in a while, right? You haven't had one of our sandwiches, our fried chicken, our fresh bowls. Can I come drop some off just so then you can put a face to a name? The most important thing about this is really that personal touch. Putting it in there so it doesn't sound cookie cutter. You want it to really feel like you took the time to type it up. And one of my favorite exercises to run is asking your team members who do they know, especially for those local team members that are inside of the restaurant. This is such a great activity to build that camaraderie with them, but to get a really hot list of leads because you will be surprised how many kids or adults are working inside of those four walls, and their mom is the superintendent, their dad is the school principal, you've got a phys ed teacher, you've got a chemistry teacher, whatever it may be. There are so many opportunities for them to get you that key introduction of who to be working with.
Totally. I love the way that you are phrasing the call to action. Is like, the way you're phrasing is like, how can I support? How can I help? How can I be of service to you? And I know you've, tried many, many, many sequences in your company to come up with like the best sequences that perform better than any other sequences, because we know the wording matters a lot when it comes to outreaches, right?
Yeah. And you know what's funny on this, and you'll see it on just kind of the next slide. What you don't see in here is the immediate sort of gut instinct to try and discount, right? It is not about here's $25 off if you place your order. Some of these people you don't have a relationship with. Some people, maybe they didn't order in the past, or you have no idea what their budget may be. You may not have any of that information. And so rather than leading with a discount, take it as an opportunity to get involved with them, learn more about what their catering needs are, and then you can appropriately quote what they may need. So, as you're building these sequences, definitely keep in mind keep it short and scannable. People don't read anymore, and be very thoughtful of where you're placing your call to action, what the preview text may look like when we know so many of these emails are read on right? They're being read on their phone. The clear call to action, right? You want something super simple. You want them to know what to do with that email when they receive it. Don't oversell, personalize where possible. Really, you want them to know that this came from you directly. You took the time to type it up, to personalize it, and send it to them. So your gut instinct, and I know many marketing teams, the gut is to layer it with marketing, layer it with all the fun buzzwords and the ways that we talk about our brand. But that is not necessarily what resonates with a customer that's receiving an email out of the blue from you, especially if they're not familiar with your brand. No attachments, you'll get flagged for spam. So if you think you can send out your new menu and say, hey, click this link and go somewhere, that's a super easy way to hurt your email domain, and just not get your emails, kind of sent there. And so, tracked signals, i.e., this one is always another place that I like to find some of my hot leads, is anytime I get an out of office, I'm hitting that person up of whoever their backup person is, right? If Susie's out on vacation for the week, I'm emailing Lauren to say, hey, Lauren, I know that Susie's out this week. Do you need anything, right? Take that one singular lead and expand it into another lead for you. And then, make sure you have your follow up on it. You want to be staying on top of it, having that third, that fourth, that other email that's going to go out on it. Find the, other opportunities, connect with them. And the big thing is that we're not desperate in this, right? There's a little bit of an awareness campaign of staying top of mind with them, knowing that you have an amazing CRM system that's going to ping them again in the next 3 months or ping them again in the next 6 months. So even though you don't get an order, they may still see your email, they may still stop by on their way home from school, and you'll find that consistent marketing will provide a lift to your business. And so once you've gone after your schools, I would still recommend going after that corporate business. So any of those lookalike leads you may have in the system, as you're going out and prospecting, you want to use the exact same practices that you're using for your existing customers and using that against any new customers that you have in there. I think one of the things that's really lacking in our space right now from a tech standpoint is the ability to be messaging and managing your cold outreach, right? Lead lists that you've been getting, somebody that inquired on the website and they're not calling you back. So many of the systems right now are really only tracking somebody that placed a confirmed order when we all know there is a massive amount of business that's being left outside of that. And so having this sequence that can go out to them that, somebody who hasn't ordered from you before, or somebody that you're just trying to get your foot in the door on, right? Same exact thing. It's an introduction. How can I tell you more about our brand and make you a fan? Then measuring the interest on it. Like, hey, I don't want to be reaching out if you're not the right person. Are you? Right? That clear call to action where somebody, they may reply to you and say, no, I'm not. And you said, hey, no problem. Any way you can introduce me to the person who is. What we're trying to do with these sequences is generate responses and generate energy for it so that you can take that lead and convert it into something further down the line. And as we all know, it's not a one size fits all kind of campaign, right? Just because you're emailing them and you're checking the box for making that happen, it doesn't replace the sales process of using your other tools like LinkedIn, like your cell phone, call, text, even stopping by or finding a way to get your foot in the door in a very creative way. So don't rely on your email specifically, but man, they are the first, easiest, and most efficient sort of sales part of the process. And so the templates we just used, feel free to scan here. We've got them fully built out, series of 4 emails. But all I can say is make sure you read them. You will want to make sure you personalize them to your business. Take the time to drop in additional information and make them your own using some of the tips that we listed above. Great way to just kind of implement these and get them to work for your business.
So just by scanning this QR code, everyone will have access to all these sequences that they can pretty much copy and paste and start using tomorrow, right?
Yep, back to school, general business, and I hope you all send me a general business one trying to get my business.
That's amazing. Yeah, so one of our team members is going to include the link for this QR code as well here, in case you don't have your phone right now to scan it. We will also share these slides after the call, but this is super super helpful. I absolutely love this slide. There's so much good information in here. It's unbelievable. And these are like, really, really tactical things. Like this I still see a lot of people do this. A lot of people do this, and it's just a wasted effort because it does go to the spam folder. And I want to thank you for sharing all these tips here. It's find them really valuable.
And I think the thing is like, it's a grind out there for those salespeople. And so the days of, yeah, like I need to message all of these 500 people that ordered last month and I only have X amount of time. And so many of us don't have those resources to be able to say, okay, I'm going to personalize every single email. Give me a mail merge, give me a BCC, give me whatever it is to just quickly get a touch out there and I'll take what I can get. But there are so many automations out there right now that can make a huge difference in making you do this more efficiently, but more effectively as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Perfect. So definitely scan this QR code. Kelly, if you don't mind, we're going to add these sequences to to our, the CRM that our customers are using. So they're going to be able to use these sequences from tomorrow. It's going to be just added to their account if you
Right?
give us the green light.
Yeah, do it.
Perfect. All right. So, all right. So, I mean, I think we want to talk about this first, and then I'll come back to the crumb slide because this I wanted to tie this to that slide. But if you don't mind, we're gonna talk about some AI and automations first. And this is my favorite part. I know it's your favorite part too. Um, First of all, we want to talk about why we need automation. Um, this is a question that I do ask our customers to see basically if they know the answer for it. But the main answer that I really believe in is that I mean people in the restaurant industry we have like too many responsibilities, especially the sales managers. They have too much on their plate and they have to do the outbound sales, they have to do the inbound sales, they have to reach out to lapsed customers, customer follow-up when the order is placed, which is the most important thing, big order reminders, calendar events, and many, many, many more things that they need to do. And because a lot of these things can be automated, they can be easily automated, and that can save um, the sales managers in our industry so much time that they can focus their time on the things that cannot be automated. So that's the first thing that the first reason that we all need to focus on automation and make it our number one priority. And the second reason is that like we have too many leads to reach out to. If we want to reach out to them one by one, it's going to take us forever to reach out to all of these leads. So automation can basically do work on our behalf when we are doing other things, we're taking care of other things. And if your answer is that I really don't have enough leads or enough customers to be able to use automation, then having too few leads or customers is a really serious issue for any brand, because you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Would you agree with that, Kelly?
We like to say it's crumbs on the table.
Thumbs up.
But yes,
Exactly.
I will say that it is definitely something you don't realize how many leads you have got sitting inside of your databases and within your four walls. And without continuing to sort of grow those leads and find new ways to connect with the guest and spread word about your catering program, you'll find that it gets harder and harder to grow those sales.
100%. And I know that you guys at Crumbs you guys help a lot of restaurants with this specific problem. So as I mentioned, we're going to go back to the slide. So if you want to share a little bit on how you can help restaurant brands with that specific problem or any other problems, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah. So on the Crumb side of things, we're here to create a lot of that automation for you, do some of that heavy lifting when it comes to building out those templates and those content, knowing what will resonate and when it will resonate. And so we're here to really automate that process for you. And so whether that's leveraging data that you have inside of your platform to build out those sequences, or it's actually conducting outreach into that local community for those businesses, churches, schools, medical sales reps that are surrounding your business in 5, 10, 15 miles, wherever you may be. We can help automate messaging out to them in a highly personalized way so that while you're out there closing business, sending orders, and really maximizing those guests that are ready to place an order, we're out there finding you new guests on your behalf. So we've done a great job of really coming up with those fun and unique ideas of ways to find those customers so we can do the heavy lifting and you get to do what you do best.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. So now we're going to go back to the automation conversation. So again, too many responsibilities, too many leads. So because of that, we need automation. Examples of automation. I'm going to share some examples here. These are the things that a lot of brands can automate as soon as possible with the right processes and with the right technology. So the most important one is the follow-up automation. I see a lot of brands that they every single week they have a person who has to go through all the orders, spend 4 or 5 hours, export all that information, bring it over to Gmail, copy and paste an email and send it over to them. And I just do think this is the easiest thing to automate, and that can save up that person 4 to 5 hours, and that 4 to 5 hours can be spent on reaching out to people, can be spent on doing food drops or many other things. So the most important thing, and if you're in charge of strategies when it comes to your brand, please do think about automating this. And this is the lowest hanging fruit, follow-up automation. The second one that's also very important is lapse customer reactivation. So with the right tool and the right CRM, we can easily see which customer is lapsing or which customer has churned before. So then you can easily automate that process and reach out to them, send them a "We Miss You" campaign with a cashback option or a coupon option or discount or whatever you think is best for your business, a food drop, and you can bring them back without anyone spending any time on that process. So these are the two examples. And again, as I mentioned previously, this is one of the main functionalities that we have. At OmniCard, we help with many automations, including order follow-up emails, order frequency centered labs campaigns. We have first order automation and many more that I would be more than happy to share with you guys later. But again, automation is super important, and I would encourage everybody to bring that up with their team members and see how they can basically incorporate that into the processes. Any thoughts, Kelly, that you want to share on automations?
I think it's the easiest way to be, keeping track of those catering orders and low key getting catering revenue on the side without you necessarily having to do too much of a lift on it. I think the beauty of an automation that's following up with a guest, specifically after an order, right? We all know the death of catering is that catering guest that you didn't hear anything went wrong, but you didn't hear anything went right. And without prompting them to really kind of give you that feedback, you can't solve in the moment and make sure that they're continuing to order again from you. So that automated order follow-up is a massive one. And I know some people try to do, calls around that too. And it's just, there's only so much time in the day. And so when you look at the automation side of things, those things that you can automate without losing the personal side of it, right? Something that still sounds like it's coming from you. It's not something that is necessarily coming from the brand. That's going to give it that personal touch and increase the effectiveness. This isn't about sending a generic email campaign. This is really personalizing it down, having specific, whether it's order call outs or I know you ordered from our Woodlands location on Tuesday, like there's certain things that without having a system like this, you won't be able to personalize it as much as you want to. And you might as well not do it because it loses its effectiveness.
It's super important. That's actually one of the things that we are doing as well to personalize that email. Hey, Kelly, this is Aria from Restaurant ABC. You placed an order a couple of days ago. Just wanted to follow up to see what you think. It really does feel like that I wrote that email, but it is based in automation. So and you're getting a lot of response rate on it.
It's huge.
Yeah, it really is, and a huge time saver as well. Time saver. So now we only have 10 minutes left. Let's talk about AI and some of the cool prompts that people can use to do fun things with AI. Let's start with you. I know you have two prompts here. We're going to go through your prompts for 5 minutes and 5 minutes my prompt, and then we'll wrap up the call.
Yeah. I'll say, and for anybody that was on the call when I first jumped in, I was literally just using AI to help with naming, to come up with some fun names for a client regarding their tailgate packages. So get creative with it, have fun with AI. It can do so many great things for you. And just two of the ways that we were using it this past month for a couple clients, finding new job titles to be going after. I think everybody knows the office manager, the administrative assistant, the secretary. That I don't think we're using that anymore, but all of those different job titles, there's so many more like it that are out there. And so leveraging this type of a prompt to say, give me some alternative job titles that I can take and then go look up on LinkedIn to say, give me the chief people officer, somebody that has benefits in their title, somebody that mentions the word culture, just those different job titles. Those are key individuals that we know are ordering catering. So leverage AI to spit you out a list and use that in your prospecting this week. And then I'd say on the email sequence side of things, yes, you can totally use the ones that we shared with you. And we're always happy to help with other ones, but you can definitely leverage this to be more on brand with your own, right? Take this prompt, plug it in, and really have it spit out something that sounds authentic to your brand and gets better and better and better every time you're asking for it. I would say importance of AI is being great with your questions. And so the more that you can tap into this and get very specific to say, hey, I need a 3 series or a 3 sequence email reaching out to the chief people officers of, greater Cleveland, offering, to stop by and do a formal presentation for them. You'd be surprised what it can come out with for you. And it'll save you not only a ton of time, but it'll definitely save you in the long run, just, some of that creativity and some of those mistakes. So, but as always, read what it gives you and make sure that it makes sense, it's cleaned up, it's formatted correctly, because sometimes it does go full robot mode and you get some wonky stuff in there.
100%. And super important to be very detailed to make it friendly, not salesy. Three sentences, no buzzwords. These are like, a lot of details that we might, not think about right off the bat, but it's super important to have these details because without the details, it's not going to function as we want it.
Totally.
All right, so for my prompt, I'm gonna share something interesting and exciting. So these AI models, they've become really good at coding and like basically just building dashboards and things like that that we can use immediately. And I'm gonna share a cool prompt that can give you basically a dashboard like this, and you can easily set it up within 5 minutes. And learn more about your data, learn more about your customers, and get more insight into your customer base. So the tool that I'm going to use is called Claude.ai. Claude is like, similar thing to ChatGPT or Grok or Google Gemini. So these are the four main AI tools out there. And the prompt that I'm going to use is this exact prompt over here. So what you need to do is basically copy and paste this whole prompt all the way here and put it into your Claude or ChatGPT, and it gives you a really mind-blowing dashboard that you can use to get some insight. So I'm gonna reshare my screen again. I'll show you how it works. Can you guys see my Claude dashboard?
I can see it. Yeah. That was very
Perfect.
impressive.
Yeah, just this is
Very smooth, no pressure. I
yeah.
mean,
So this is my Claude, and then I copied that prompt over there. I'm pasting it here. So I gotta copy again. I'll come here. I paste it here. So what I'm saying basically here is give me a dashboard. I'm gonna upload an Excel file. I want you to give me daily sales. I want you to give me high value customers, anyone who spend more than 600 bucks. I want you to give me average order value for those customers. And I want you to give me lapsed customers. I define lapsed customers for it as well. Someone who placed an order before, but they haven't placed an order in the past 3 months. Okay. And then I give it some information. Automatically detect the relevant data, order amount, and customer name column. Calculate the total revenue or total historical spend from the final total. That's what I have in my Excel sheet. And then some other information, display all charts in a single vertical layout. So the more information you give it to it, the better. And then I'm going to basically, I also asked it to, where is it? Oh, so this is also important. I want you to give me a web app. So basically an app that I can run locally on Claude by uploading in an Excel file without using any external tool. So what I'm saying is like, I'm not a developer. I can't go like, you know, host this on a cloud or something. I just want to be able to run this here right now. And then we'll run this. We run this and Claude starts basically coding for us, which is super cool. It probably takes some time for it to finish this code. It codes for 505, 400, 500 lines of code. But I did this before the webinar started, and this basically is the dashboard that it gives you. Okay, so when it gives you this dashboard, you can basically go choose a file and choose an export that you have from your order and online ordering provider. So you get an export and then you click it, you upload it. It says processing your data, and boom, this is a dashboard that you can build within 5 minutes. It gives you your total orders, it gives you the total revenue, it gives you your average order value, unique customers. This is the dashboard that it gives you in terms of revenue generated every single day. You go down here, it gives you high value customers. Aria placed 6 orders this much, Nader placed 7 orders this much. So you have some more information about your customers. and it gives you lapsed customers as well. So this customer last order was this date, total historical spend was this much. So like this can be very, very, very insightful, and you can play around with the prompt and build whatever you want within this dashboard and start using it. So yeah, that was the cool dashboard that I wanted to show that to you guys. We're gonna go back to the presentation.
Gosh, that dashboard is so awesome. And my wheels are turning on how I would immediately take my EasyCater data and dump that in there, right? Just because that's probably living separate from something else that you have. Um, Gosh, what a great way to analyze that. That's huge.
Totally. Like, imagine compare this with like going through an Excel sheet that like, doesn't give you any information. Now you know your high value customers. Yeah, you know your lapsed customers and so on and so forth. So basically, like, the reason I wanted to show this prompt is that to basically encourage everyone to think about the capabilities of AI. We didn't code, we didn't do anything. This was hosted on that, AI platform, and the possibilities of the things that we can do with this platform is huge. We basically have a junior, engineer on our, by our side to do things that we want him to do, and we can use that for our benefit. So it's mind blowing. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I want to encourage everyone to do that as well.
I think what I love most about this is I've been part of a few organizations recently, and I don't know if anybody knows Karen Stutz, but she's obviously a massive leader in our space. And she talks about the power of knowing your numbers and how that's been so impactful for her in growing her career and moving up and stepping up and really having a seat at the table. And I just, something like this empowers all of us to, in a very efficient and clean and scalable way, right? Know our numbers, know our catering numbers, know what's falling off and where our opportunities are. And gosh, I can't imagine how powerful that would be in a room full of executives and your GMs and anybody to be able to spit off all these numbers of here's what our repeat customer rate was, here's what our average order was, here having all of those numbers at your fingertips in such a quick and easy way. I mean, that's super powerful. So
Totally. Imagine like going to a meeting with all the executives, and you pull this, and you show this, and everyone's going to be like,
very cool.
everyone's going to be mind blown, and everyone's going to really appreciate the work that you've done with that dashboard. So we can talk about this for hours and hours. It's just so crazy. But for the sake of time, we have to move on. But we're going to try to share prompts like these and like this every single time, every single month. But in terms of next steps, we included some of the things that you can work on within the next month, and like cleaning your customer database, or identify your top 20 education and corporate targets, play around with AI and try to come up with these basically action items. And the most important thing is like our next webinar is going to be next month. We're going to drop the link here. Please feel free to register as soon as you can. And we look forward to continuing the conversation and showing you more cool things. Last but not least, we have a beautiful community of Catermind. It's on School, that we are hosting it on School. We're going to drop the link again here in the chat. Please feel free to click there and join the community, or go to catermind.com and you can join there as well. And yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for taking the time and joining the webinar. Kelly, any last words you want to share?
I have to go use that prompt, so I have some dashboards to build. So thanks everyone for joining today.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, and hope you have a great rest of your day.
See ya.
See ya.